to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Life Live. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Daniel Amen. He is the champion of the brain. You know, the brain is the main thing if you're going to have a great future where you don't die before you die. Dr. Sheri Keffer, she is one amazing PhD psychologist who has helped many, many women. Intimate Deception, the book she's written. And so many of us have been deceived, betrayed, and we need all the help we can get to get over it. Because, you know, if you don't deal with it, it just jumps right back at you and slaps you in the face and hits you in the stomach. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, there was a place where I knew that the affair had occurred, and I had some trauma work done because I didn't want to think about that. And it worked. I mean, it's amazing just on that thing. It works. Trauma treatment works. Whether, you know, that my guy used earphones and music going from one side to the other and all of this as we work through things. Sometimes it's looking at a pencil going back and forth, all sorts of different technology. But today we're so blessed to have Dr. Amen, and I'm not going to mess around. We're going right to the phones, and we're going to go to Jan and see what's going on with Jan today. Jan, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi there.
Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
Recently, I was with 31 members, immediate members of my family, and my oldest daughter displayed amazingly confusing behaviors. Could not remember where she was, opened a door without turning on a light, fell down a whole flight of stairs, and lives, 800 miles away, so I don't see her. I've only seen her twice in 3 months' time, and she's not concerned about her behavior. She's gone to the doctor, had a CT scan. He said he didn't see anything unusual. So my question is, how do I say something that's going to make a difference for her to want to know her brain condition?
Okay, great question. Dr. Amen, what do you think? I mean, you don't need a CAT scan to figure out she's got problems.
Yeah, no, something's going on, and the intervention is probably more effective if you and some of her other siblings lovingly tell her exactly what you're seeing and what worries you and what concerns you, and then you need a plan. And too often, people with confusing behavior, they get an MRI, they get a CAT scan, they're normal. Those are structural scans, when structure is not the problem. It could be function, and that's why, you know, in clinics, we do SPECT scans because they look at how your brain works. But those things can also be signs of diabetes that nobody knows about. Could be either really high blood sugar, really low blood sugar. It can be her thyroid's not right. It could be she had a fall that nobody knows about and has head trauma. There's so many different reasons for that confusing behavior that I would get a group, tell her exactly what you're concerned about, and then give her some options on what to do.
Yeah, and you know, interventions with family members go well when the motive is pure. And I'm sensing a pure motive here. And I just think you ought to all say, hey, let's put together a list of the things that we've seen, and let's get together, let's set the date where we can lovingly encourage her to get the help that she needs. And I'm really sad that she thought she was getting the ultimate test of her brain, and all it showed was all the structure still there, but the function wasn't really looked into. We'll take a break, come right back for more New Life Live.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Anything we want to help her with? Anything else in Kansas City there that we want to say to Jan to encourage?
You know, I would just have her stand the line and let us hook her up with one of our interventionists.
Okay.
Whenever you're going to do an intervention, especially one that is important as this with your daughter, it's so nice to have somebody who's an expert, and I would have that expert get hooked up with one of your clinics. And this is the cool thing about getting a SPECT scan. All of a sudden, you see that there's a problem, and there's a ton of compassion when everybody looks at this brain, and I imagine her brain is going to look like this moth-eaten piece of cheese, because you don't fall down for no reason. You have something that's going on, and so when you see that brain and you know that you can have a better brain, I mean, how many people have you helped? Dr. Amen, how many hundreds of thousands of people have you helped change their life, including Steve, that they're not the same person they used to be?
Well, and what the scans taught me is there are all sorts of reasons the brain can have trouble. She's living in a mold-filled home. Wow. She has Lyme disease.
Yeah.
There is some assault happening which is perpetuating the confusion and the lack of recognition of a problem. I mean, there's actually words for that. It's called anosognosia, where you don't know you have a problem, where it's obvious to everyone else.
Well, and here's the thing, you know, you can trip and fall, but it's hard to explain away not knowing where you are, losing these major blocks of time. I mean, the evidence is pretty strong there. Well, let's go to Steve and talk with him from Philadelphia. WFIL's the station. Hi, Steve. How are you today?
35948.
Steve, are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for holding on. And how could we help you today?
Yeah. Okay, so just to give it a quick synopsis here, I have been recently diagnosed this year with borderline personality disorder, along with PTSD.
Okay.
And I've been going to a psychologist that specializes specifically in trauma, PTSD, works with veterans and so forth. The Lord's blessed me with a lady who does a pro bono. So thank God I have a psychologist who also has a doctorate in neuroscience. So the thing is, I'm married 20 years this year. Of course, my emotional dysregulation has caused a lot of havoc, as you can imagine. So now that I'm aware of this, I just feel so overwhelmed. And I just feel like hopeless. You know, this borderline is like so serious. And you know what I mean? And I don't know what to do. And then I try to go to group therapy, and then they're like, no, we don't accept males. You know, we only see women. And I just feel like, I don't know. Then I read stuff and I come across stuff, and just the things that people have to say about borderline people is horrible.
Now, let me ask you something, Steve. Who told you that, or who gave you the diagnosis that you're borderline? I'm just curious.
A psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually had a psych eval. So I fit the criteria in the DSM, like all of them. For at least the nine major points they talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's more, but so that's where I'm at. There's a few things I want to know how to get I'm working through with my therapist through a workbook by Dr. Daniel Fox, specialized in BPD, and working through this and then finding out about the attachment styles and the subtypes, and it just seems very overwhelming, and it seems like such a complex thing.
Right. Okay, so we want to help you here, and so let's start with you, Dr. Keffer, a male, borderline. A lot of times the therapist doesn't even tell the patient that they're borderline.
Well, and I probably am one of those people that I start with trauma first, because underneath, I have a number of people that I could probably put that label on that I see. But you know what I start with? I start with the behaviors that are there, and I start looking at the wounds of their past, because really that comes out of, if it's true borderline, it really comes out of abandonment, of being dropped, of feeling unseen, uncared for, like neglect for your soul. And so people don't feel safe. And so you move towards them, and then you move away from them, and then you move towards them and away, and there's this erratic way that you're trying to be connected, but on the inside there's the deepest fear of rejection ever. And then, bless your heart, you go try to find a support group, and what do you get there? You're like, I feel rejected here. Where is a person supposed to go? So first off, I just want to say this: a label is a label. A label is a label. I don't want that to be a death sentence for you. What I would like it to be is a guide to help you begin to look at deeper issues in your heart and fears that you have around connecting. And I would also sometimes, and I'm going to have you talk about this if you don't mind, Dr. Amen, sometimes borderline is the label that's put on, but it could be untreated post-traumatic stress. It could be untreated bipolar disorder. It could be many, many things that end up having this label put on, and then we don't know where to start. What are your thoughts?
So I hate the label.
I do
hate
too.
it. I
do
don't
too.
use it. And in all of this, we haven't talked about your brain.
Yeah.
That what I see on scans, and I've done hundreds of, quote, borderline personality disorder scans, is they have low frontal lobe activity, often from a head injury or undiagnosed ADD. They have temporal lobe decreases, so mood instability, irritability, temper problems, dark thoughts, and their emotional brain works way too hard. That diamond pattern that we see, where if things don't go their way, they get upset, which on the surface appears selfish, but it's not really selfish. It's rigid. They're cognitively not flexible. And balancing your brain is your best shot at balancing your life. And through all of the borderline, I actually got to debate Otto Kernberg, who was involved in, coming up with this diagnostic model. And I'm like, where's the brain? Because it's your brain that causes your mood to be unstable. It's your brain that causes you to be rigid. It's your brain that causes you to make impulsive
What should he
things.
do? What should he do?
And so I love my new book, The End of Mental Illness, coming out in March. But now I would get my book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, and really work on optimizing the physical functioning of your brain. And you can get it at the library, and you go, okay, what are my systems? And I told you, it's the prefrontal cortex, the temporal lobes, and the emotional brain. And then there's simple things you can do to stabilize that. And if that doesn't work, you should come to one of my clinics.
Well, and in your clinics, which I love, is you guys give a series of different types of treatment. So for him, because of that emotional regulation, once you get your brain dialed in, that could be dialectical behavioral therapy. It could be some EMDR around the trauma wounds that he's experienced. I mean, there's a whole...
Right, but you don't want to program an organ. You don't want to program a computer that has hardware problems. So he is going to suffer because no one is thinking about his brain, and he's going to try, and he's going to try, and it's not going to work, and then he's going to hate himself, and that's just not fair. That's, psychiatry and psychology in 2019. And it's ridiculous because it's a brainless profession that I've been working for 30 years to change.
Okay, so Steve, you can see that
how do you really feel about that, Dr. He's fighting for you, right,
In the meantime, I want to, I would like to go superficial here, but life-changing. And here's the deal, Steve. Fear is there. The fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, and often you vacillate over to, so I got to be in control, and then you feel out of control. You want to be close, and then you want to be distant. One of the things that you can start doing, rather than just flow right from one feeling to the next, like rather than just flow from wanting to be so close to, I've got to have my space. There's a little thing called self-confrontation, followed by self-comfort. But start to notice that you're doing it. You can do a little intervention, even if your brain is not wired correctly, but until we get it great, you can rather than just going with the feeling, you can say, okay, I'm feeling this, and I may not need to. Maybe I don't need to be distant right now. Or maybe I don't need to have someone baby me to make me feel loved or close enough. It's something to try. It works with some people that brings some insight and a little bit of security there when you are so, when you swing from the fences, you could say, from one extreme to the other. That's my little practical, superficial in the midst of these brilliant people telling you to do the deep work. I'm just telling you something that might help a little bit here. All right, we're going to send you, I think we've got a copy somewhere. If not, we'll find it. Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. All right? And I hope and pray it helps. And I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice. I was just talking to a pastor. He said, when I read books, I underline things, and then in the front flap, I put what the subject is and the page number. He says, usually, then my assistant prints it out. He says, I get about a half page a book. I got 3 pages on Healing is a Choice. So I'm telling you, it can help you. All right, a little self-promotion there, never hurt anybody. Let's see, where's that show on narcissism I need to watch? All right, here we go. Let's talk with Greta. Greta is calling us all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Greta, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I was wondering, how can I continue to eat a brain and heart healthy diet without losing more weight? I do eat an avocado nearly every day. I still have a couple deficits from my last concussion that have not been eliminated, and the doctors have prescribed diets that only cause me to lose weight. And well, I don't need to lose weight. I don't have that kind of a metabolism.
Okay.
I look in the mirror and I am now looking gaunt and a little bit emaciated.
Oh.
I'm like 5'6.5", and my last doctor visit I was down to 108, and I don't need to be that. I just want the concussion healed without losing weight.
Anything come to mind, Dr. Amen, here? In a situation like that?
I mean, for sure you want to be on a brain healthy diet, which, think of a plate, 70% plant-based foods, 30% high-quality protein, lots of healthy fat, especially if you're not wanting to lose weight. I would snack a lot on nuts, seeds, because they're fairly calorie dense. And
I do. I was on the keto. That's what he put me on.
Yeah, ketogenic diet. I'm not.
But I cut all. But I didn't do the mayo, and I didn't do the bacon, and I didn't do.
But most people lose weight on a ketogenic diet. So I would do, maybe a paleo or Tana. My wife's got a cookbook called the Brain Warriors Way Cookbook, and I would just cheat more with things that are calorie dense rather than calorie, less dense. So think avocados. So maybe have 2. They're not going to hurt you. Nuts, seeds can be so
like I ate a whole bag of almonds just this morning.
And you're 5'6", so you
I
probably should be having
little more.
2,000 calories a day. And,
I'm not.
So I would start counting them. I think people should count calories if they need to lose weight. We have this lie going on in our country that calories don't matter. It's a lie. But if you want to put on weight, then you need to eat more than you're burning. And there are healthy calories that you clearly can put in your body.
All right. I hope that is helpful to
Memory
you.
Rescue would be a really good
I'll
book
send
for
it to
her.
you. Memory Rescue coming your way really does help you do the things we need to do to stay healthy, keep the brain healthy. I'll send a copy to anybody with a gift of any amount. I mean, that's an amazing value. We want you to have it because it's healing and it's helpful. And Dr. Amen wrote it. We love it when Dr. Amen is on. We always get to talk about things we don't normally talk about here. So really want you to get the book so then you don't have to wait for us to talk about it. It's all right there. We'll take a break. We'll come back for more of New Life Live. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You want to know about the next workshop we're doing? Every Man's Battle's coming up. It's a great place to start to live free.
My wife had found me out and came home one weekend. She had revealed my secret. The only reason I was sorry at that time is because I had been caught. I had had the Every Man's Battle book for years and pulled that book out that weekend and found the phone number on the back and called it, and then a week later I was at Every Man's Battle. It really gave me the start I needed for my recovery. I never had that opportunity to sit down with guys I didn't even know and totally open up. The good thing was I was opening up to guys I didn't even know. So why did I care? Just lay it all out on the table. I have nothing to lose. You need to check it out. At least go online, check out what it's about, and take the chance and go do it.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to go on struggling, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. So we want to help people, and we want to help you. January the 10th, Every Man's Battle. It is not too early or too late to sign up. Intimacy in Marriage is February 14th. That's right here, Southern California. And that can take a really crummy marriage and make it great. And it can take a pretty good marriage and make it great. And there's no reason being one of these married, miserable people that you'll never divorce because you're a nice Christian, but you're miserable. Doesn't have to be that way. We'll help you change it. All right. And then Hope for a Woman's Heart, Restore, that's February 28th. And Finding Freedom, July 24th. There is a workshop that could help you, but we've also got counselors all over the place. Let's talk to John right now. John is calling from Colorado Springs. KGFT is the station. Hey, John, how are you?
Doing pretty good.
How could we help today?
I've got a sleep problem. My functional medicine doctor tried all kinds of things for regulating the adrenal gland, and just change in diet and melatonin and all kinds of things. And he said that I was the worst case he's seen in a man with sleep problems that he has worked with.
Okay.
Have you had a sleep study, John?
I haven't. Those are kind of expensive, and I'm on a fixed income.
Usually covered by insurance. But, I always say if you don't look, you don't know.
I only have Medicare coverage, and that doesn't...
It does cover it.
That doesn't cover it.
No, Medicare totally covers a sleep study. You just got to get your functional medicine or your primary care doctor to order it, because if you have undiagnosed sleep apnea, Steve, I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
It damages your brain, and if it damages your brain, everything else in your life is harder. So at least, if you were seeing me, that'd be the first thing I would figure out a way to make happen. And then, I'm always thinking, avoid things that hurt your sleep, do things that help your sleep. One of the things I'm really excited about is bright light therapy. So for all of my patients who have sleep-related problems, once I've ruled out they don't have a primary sleep disorder or sleep apnea, I'll put them in front of a bright light, so it's 10,000 lux in the morning for a half an hour, along with exercise in the morning that helps to reset your circadian rhythm, which can be super helpful.
John, I can't get over how exhausted you sound. You sound so tired. And when Dr. Amen was talking about that sleep study, let's just say, and you know what, when you have sleep apnea, it's like you can't sleep soundly. You stop breathing, maybe even during the night. And so it's like your brain is not getting enough oxygen. And I want to give oxygen to your brain. And you have one of these, right? Can I share?
Yes.
Can I share about your sleep apnea unit? Because
I've had one for a long time, but I quit using it until I went to see Dr. Amen. Now, here's the thing. Their CPAP machines are not all that expensive, and many times insurance will cover it, and you have to prove that you're using it. Well, there's the big sleep study done in the sleep study center where you're there all night and all that, but a doctor can prescribe it with a different kind of a study where they hook you up with a little monitor and it's on your finger, and you go to bed at night. And that's not very expensive at all, but it's enough for them. You have to have a diagnosis to have the thing prescribed. It's kind of weird. So there are different ways to do it.
But didn't you start sleeping better, Steve, once you had that unit on?
Absolutely.
Because your brain's breathing at night, right?
Yes, and
you wake up refreshed.
It's sad that I didn't use it all the time, but I use it every night. I actually have 3 of them. All right. So, John, here's the thing we want you to do. Does
it matter that I'm not a snorer? I don't snore.
Well, if you should at least try to figure out if this is an issue. I happen to think whether you snore or not, it's going to be helpful. It gets more. It pushes oxygen into your lungs. But John, I get the sleep problem that kind of demotivates you, and everything seems like you're walking through sludge and stuff. But if I could put something inside of you, it would just be a little bit of energy to do everything I could to change the way I'm functioning. And so it's going back to the doctor. It's finding options.
It's going through Care Credit, which is a company that gives people short-term loan for medical stuff that you need.
I feel.
I think he needs to see a sleep specialist, not just a functional medicine doctor.
I agree. There's
somebody
so
who
much.
sees people like John all the time.
And the doctor, the medical doctor, refers, saying he has to have it, and then it gets covered.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Medicare covers these things.
All right, I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you Memory Rescue. I hope that's going to be helpful to you.
Now, this is why we are on the radio. Okay, so just think about it. Here's John. He sounds exhausted. He hasn't slept well forever. If we had not had that call, he wouldn't even know Medicare pays.
Yeah.
That's why we love that you guys support us and donate here, right? Give us your gift, this end of the year gift. We've got a matching gift right now, and it would be a great time.
We need your help.
Yeah.
We are here to transform lives and give Medicare consultation. That's who we are here at New Life. We'll take a break. Come right back.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of the problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
Glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Dr. Daniel Amon's here with Memory Rescue. That is our thank you gift, a gift of any amount. And, you could give a gift of any amount, and I would send you Dr. Keffer's book also, which is Intimate Deception. What an amazing book to help anybody who has been betrayed, and it's not easy. It's hard. The recovery's tough, but you can do it, and her book really helps. Intimate Deception. Let's go to Dan from Orange, California. KKLA is the station. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hello, guys. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for holding on, and we want to know how we can help you.
Okay, so here goes. My thing is more of depression. I've already been through the stages, the suicidal stages. That was like the first year. I just want to know, I'm basically living a nightmare, and I just want to know how to get over it already. My wife had a 3-year affair. This was like 5 years ago. And that was a sexual affair. That was the one that she admitted to. And then there was another one, but according to her, it was only phone calls.
And did she get any kind of help?
We did the Bob and Audrey Ministries, and we started counseling at the beginning and stopped, and now we're kind of doing it again, and but I'm at the point already where this is all I think about. This is all I think when I go to bed, when I wake up in the middle of the night. I have nightmares.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just tired of all this, and it's gotten so bad to the point where I forget everything else because this is all I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And I sometimes have even a little bit of problem putting words together when I'm actually thinking about this.
Yeah. John, have you tried?
I can't even connect the words.
Have you gotten any kind of help other than this Bob and Audrey, whatever that is that you went to? Any other kind of help for you?
No.
Okay.
You know what? You're not alone, Dan. There are so many of us, and I say us because I also experience betrayal trauma, that heal broken. We don't really mend well. And what I can hear right now is you're living today as if it's happened yesterday.
That's right.
And I can hear that. I did some research with 100 people, and you know what I found out? 76% of us had clinical symptoms of post-traumatic stress. That's why your brain goes to mush. That's why you're having dreams and you wake up in the middle of the night. That's why it's all you can think of. And Dr. Amen I'll let him talk about it, but there's something called a Diamond Plus pattern that he sees when he does SPECT scans on people who've experienced things like sexual betrayal. And so if you don't get treatment for your post-traumatic stress, you can't even fight for your family. You can't even mend your heart. You can't even go to work and do what you need to do. And so I often say, I want you to get on a gurney, right? I want you, like if I was in the ICU ward, I would say, hey, Dan, I see you. I see that you've got betrayal trauma untreated. And I want to ask you to honor yourself by getting some help for that post-traumatic stress.
So many things to talk about. I think he's going to get pseudo dementia, which is you're so depressed that you can't think, that your memory's no good. And it's not dementia, but depression is a common cause of memory loss.
Yeah,
and I'm hearing pretty severe depression.
Yeah.
And probably there's a genetic tendency to that. The trauma made it much worse. But Dan, if you were in my office, I'd go to my whiteboard and I'd go, tell me the worst thought you have. So what's the thought that bothers you, that just goes over and over and over in your head?
Oh, man. There's so many.
Pick one.
The worst, you guys are going to probably judge me, but the worst one is like, I wish that, please don't judge me.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
You wish that she was dead? You wish what?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a classic obsessive thought. And you're not unusual. Now, don't do anything to kill her, please. That's very bad. But you write down the thought, and then it's 5 questions. Is it true? So just answer them for me quickly. Is it true?
Sure. No.
No. Okay. The second question is automatically no. The second question, is it absolutely true with 100% certainty? No. But the third question is, how do you feel when you have that thought? I wish she was dead. How does that make you feel?
Well, I wouldn't have to deal with the problem anymore, so I'm just running away from it. So it'll feel like there's no more problem. There's nothing to face anymore. It's gone.
So for a moment, it feels good to have that thought, right? It feels good because then I wouldn't have to deal with it anymore.
Exactly. It's not something that I have to continue working at so hard every day.
Yeah, well, you could divorce her. I mean, it's like such a better solution than wishing she was dead, because she then could be dead to you.
Yeah,
the fourth question is, who would you be, or how would you feel if you didn't have that thought, if you couldn't have the thought?
Well, I'll feel better, because the thing is, we have children as well.
Okay.
So she's not only my wife, but she's also the mother of my children.
Ah, so you really don't wish she was dead, because that would be damaging to the babies. The fifth question, I love this question, is you take the original thought, I wish she was dead, you flip it to the exact opposite, I wish she was not dead, and then you go, well, is that true? What you have is an infestation of ants, automatic negative thoughts that are stealing your happiness. They're stealing your joy. And your mind has become completely undisciplined. And one of the ways to get it back, now you hear me on the show, I'm like, what's your brain look like? And I totally want to know. But once we optimize the physical functioning of the brain, we then have to program it properly. And your brain is out of control, hurting you. And if you wrote down 100 of your worst thoughts, and then you subjected them to those 5 questions, dramatically change this depression and your life.
I heard one that I think he believes about himself, which is I'm trapped.
Yeah.
I'm trapped. The opposite is
I'm not trapped.
I'm not trapped. I can make choices, right? I can make choices in my life. But when we're depressed and we have that shame that gets stuck on us like glue, we have these negative ants, these ant infestation.
And
it
the research shows it is better for children to be from divorced parents than from parents that are in chronic conflict. Now, I'm not a fan of divorce, but I'm also not a fan of children being raised with chronic conflict.
Well, he has grounds for divorce, but if this could be repaired, which means, you're going to have to do some things in a dramatically different way. We can help you do that at our marriage intensive. I want to see if we can get you guys there. This is the kind of situation that we help. I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice and Intimate Deception. But, I know what that's like, and I wanted to kill the person. And then as I healed, I just wanted them to die. So, and then I just wanted them to have like a chronic illness or something. So I know what it's like to be there. I didn't know I was capable of those feelings, but they were there. But here's the thing, Dan, no one thing changes everything. And even if she died today, you would not be free of the problem. You have to deal with it. It's not easy. You have to do things, or you'll be regretting you didn't do things before she died. There is no one thing that changes everything. So we want to help you. Hold on. Let's see if we can get you guys to come to our intensive. It just could change everything. My wife does a group for women with sexual integrity problems. And BravefulSummit.com. Sheri,
BravefulSummit.org. Is it .com or
.com? BravefulSummit.com. Sheri's teaching. Misty's teaching. You can go there. Your wife ought to be looking at that webinar.
And you can look at it. There's a number of men that are watching that Braveful Summit because there's not as many resources for them. But this is a wonderful resource for you.
We will take a break and come right back. A gift of any amount. I send you Memory Rescue, Dr. Daniel Amen. It's a good one. Got a new book coming, The End of Mental Illness. That'll be out in March. Boy, what a claim, huh? It's actually based on personal success story.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. They'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. It's no longer simply about surviving. For the time ever, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Milligrams of caffeine.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. We're talking about all sorts of supplements and stuff. Got to go to a final caller here. I'm going to go to Frank here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm so sad I didn't get to everybody, but we've just got time for Frank. And so, Frank, how can we help you today, my friend?
Yes, great. Thank you for answering my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Question. I just happened to listen to your show. No, I'm 62 years old, and I noticed I'm in a technical field. My brain has always been sharp, but lately, I don't know if it's a lack of focus or whatever, but I noticed that if I meet someone and they tell me their name, 2 seconds later, their name is gone. Numbers, I can't remember numbers. Like it's certain things that's just fading out. So I don't know if it's just a supplement issue. I did listen to you speaking about sugar. You know, I do use sometimes white sugar in the coffee or something like that. I don't know if it's something that it needs to be an issue, but it's kind of, you know, the memory's descending on certain points. It's not like a lot of things. It's just certain things.
So how is your memory compared to it was 10 years ago?
It's really descending.
So it's worse.
In a sense that, and yeah, it's got worse because, like, for example, sometimes you walk somewhere and you don't go like, okay, why did I come here? Or I'm driving somewhere and all of a sudden I don't remember where I'm at, and then I go back and immediately I look at the points and then I realize where I'm at. But for that 1 second, it's like I don't remember where I'm at. So that kind of shocks me a little bit. And today you happen to have the show, and I've been thinking about that because I don't know if I needed to take like some supplement or something like that. We eat very healthy, but still, maybe I'm doing something that maybe I.
What do you think?
Yeah, so Memory Rescue will help you so much. Too many people when they get to be 60. Actually, it starts at 30. I'm 30 and my memory's no good. That's normal. Or I'm 40. My memory's no good. That's normal. And it's never normal for your memory not to be good. So if your memory is worse than it was 10 years ago, you have an 80% chance it's going to continue to get worse unless you do something about it. Some simple things from a supplement standpoint: omega-3 fatty acids, multiple vitamin, and I'm a huge fan of ginkgo because it has scientific evidence, A-level scientific evidence. It can actually help your memory. But then you want to kill the things that don't serve your memory, like sugar, processed foods, artificial dyes and sweeteners. Eat more plant-based vegetables, some fruit, high-quality protein. Make sure you're exercising. And Memory Rescue just lays out the whole plan on things to avoid and things to do. And it make a dramatic difference in as little as 2 months.
All right, we're going to send that to you, and I hope that that's going to help. But here's a great message to everybody. If your memory is failing, let's do something about that quickly. BRAIN is an acronym for, the B stands for better or best. We're going to have the best brain. R stands for reality. look at the reality. Don't deny what you're experiencing there. The A stands for Amen and Memory Rescue, a gift of any amount. I'll send it to you. I stands for I am the only one that can change this. And so maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's getting a meeting. Here's what changes stuff. A meeting with a therapist who's trained to help you. In the end, you know what that stands for? Now is a great time for you to start. That's what BRAIN stands for. Everybody knows that. It's written up in an encyclopedia somewhere. So we want you to get some help. You have to pick up the phone and call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'll send you Memory Rescue, but it could be the beginning of you doing something versus feeling badly about everything and not doing anything. Speaking of feeling badly, Larry, you're going to feel really bad if people don't support this ministry here at year end. And tell them why to support us, because we want that support. So
I love telling why. So this is a letter that a woman writes about all of her issues, relational issues with her husband, possible divorce and such. She says, "This has been an ordeal, and your program has been both a friend and counselor, and the voice of God in my life, and a source of sanity amidst chaos. It was also key in helping me know what steps to take when things like this happen. The program was also a companion when friends could not be available on many lonely days. Friends cannot always be there, but recordings of your program kept me company many times when my heart was breaking. You know, the program has so many effects on so many people in so many ways, and this is a little bit of a preventative way, because when it hit the fan, she was able to do something. She knew where to go. She knew where to turn because she listened to this program."
Yeah. So we do a lot of things, but the thing that we do that impacts the most people is this program. And a lot of times people tell us we're the only therapists that they've ever heard say anything about anything.
So it's 10 days before year end.
Yeah.
And we have 10 days for you to make that final gift. A lot of people, you know, I don't know what it is, and I'm really curious if people really do make write off the what they give on their taxes, and it makes that big a difference. Some people, I know it does. There's others I know it doesn't. But the amount of money that comes in December relative to other months of the year is pretty amazing.
Well, and it determines what we're able to do in the following year, and we have so many needs to build our team and to do more to reach more people.
And you know, this, in all transparency, this is a recorded program. It was recorded a week ago, and we could be done with our matching gift, but we might not be, and we need you to support it. And we need you to make a gift. Your gift will be doubled, and it means we can do more. We can reach more people. We can do more things to the more people that we reach, and it means more people's lives are being affected. That's the bottom line for us, helping people.
Call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, gift of any amount. I'll send you Memory Rescue. Thank you, Larry. We're getting close to Christmas, and as we close out the program here, Dr. Amen, what is one thing that a person could pay attention to over the holidays that would be a brain builder, something healthy that they could do? Maybe they're not used to doing it over the holidays. Got anything in mind?
Yeah, they don't have to eat bad food over the holiday.
Yeah.
You can see the holidays as a weapon of mass destruction, and just choose better because you love yourself.
Right.
Give yourself the gift of brain health.
Yeah. Sheri, any thoughts about a better Christmas this year?
Oh, every Christmas is a good Christmas. This Christmas, we're being a little minimalistic. I went, you guys will probably laugh at me, but I went to Home Depot where they have all these they cut off trees, and I just brought a bunch of that home. I put them in some pots to just bring the smell inside our house. And I just want to say you don't have to spend a lot to have a good Christmas with those that you love. And I want to ask, can you just tell us a little bit about this book, The End of Mental Illness?
I'm so excited about it. These things aren't mental, they're brain. And when you get your brain right, your mind will follow. So the whole idea is the end of mental illness begins with a revolution in brain health.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be dealing more with that when Dr. Amen comes back after the first of the year, because the book's going to come out in March. And he's been telling me about this book. I think it's going to be fantastic. In the meantime, don't just wait for God to do what God might be waiting for you to do. You're the one that has to pick up the phone and call. You call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can help us. You can support us. We'll send you memory rescue. You could find out about a counselor. Maybe this could be the year, 2020, where you get the help that you need. Or a workshop. We've got them coming up in January. And, of course, Every Man's Battle right there in January. Starting off the new year with sexual integrity and sexual purity. There's no reason to struggle alone. We want to help you. And we sure are depending on you to help us. This is the time of year where everything we get to do next year is determined by how we finish up the year. So call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE whether you need help or you could help us. See you next time. Thank you, Dr. Amen. Thank you, Sheri. Thank you, Larry. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.